have a keeper. Oh! I mean, these waves are as tall as a car.
Good morning and welcome to Mom and Doobie. I'm Shelby and I put out videos all about motherhood. In today's video we have a fun one. We are traveling to the Keys, so this is our first morning here. We got in last night and went to dinner with my dad and Denise. Lucas is still sleeping, so I thought I'd get up and do a little bit of editing. And this video is going to be full of our adventures here with a 10-month-old baby. So stay tuned, share this video with a friend, and make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel. Let's get into it. Here's my dad and Robert coming back from their morning fishing trip. Denise, Lucas, and I are about to go meet them, and we're gonna hop on the boat and go get some lunch together off the water. This is actually my first time on my dad's new boat, and also Lucas's first time on a boat in the ocean. While we head out, I wanted to share my first tip with you guys, and that is to be prepared with easy foods for your baby. Our first night in town, we went to the grocery store and got some things for sandwiches. We also brought some baked oatmeal, pumpkin muffins, some string cheese, some fruit and veggie pouches, and some canned vegetables. These came in handy when we went to get lunch and when we were having dinners at the house that were things like pizza. After having lunch, we went out and did a little bit of fishing. Robert was the only one to catch anything. He caught a Spanish mackerel, and it was a keeper. Unfortunately, though, we couldn't do the deep sea fishing that we wanted to do while we were on this trip. The wind was blowing too hard, and it just made the waves way too big for us to be out there safely, and you'll get to see this here in just a little bit. Lucas didn't mind it, though. He actually fell asleep in the choppy water. And that was day one, our first full day at the Keys. We ended it with a beautiful sunset on the water, and then had a little bit of dinner and went to bed early. So it's Tuesday, it's our second full day here in the Keys, and Lucas woke up around the same time as I did. So I'm out here having some coffee while he's down there playing with his little ambulance. It's supposed to be very windy today, and it's really just not going to be a safe day for that kind of activity. So we're going as a family to explore, and I think we're going to stop at a place called Robbie's. It's in Islamorada, so let's get going. While we check out the loot here at Robbie's, I wanted to share my second tip with you, and that is to kind of let things go a little bit. It's not a big deal if you get out of routine when you're on vacation. It's also not a big deal if your baby doesn't eat perfectly while you're on vacation. Lucas actually had his first French fries this week, and I'm actually really surprised that I allowed that to happen, but I did, and he's alive and back to eating healthy, just like he was before we ever went. So here at Robbie's, you can feed the tarpon, which are these giant fish that you'll see in the water. I've showed them in a clip before already, but they're these giant fish that will come up and take the bait right out of your hand. My husband Robert was so excited to do this. Here we go, let's watch him do it. So once we finished walking around at Robbie's and looking at everything, we decided to go a little bit further south. We weren't really looking for anything in particular, just for little shops to look at, and we ended up going pretty far and not really finding what we were looking for. We got to see some gorgeous views, and then we decided to head on back towards Islamorada. We decided to take a little stop at Anne's Beach. It had a nice little boardwalk with some beautiful views and a couple little rocky areas that you could touch the water, but there were mangroves everywhere, and apparently mangroves are where saltwater crocodiles live. After our long day of driving around and checking out the sights, we were pretty tired and decided to hang out in the condo while my dad and Denise went out on the boat to see if they could catch anything. By Wednesday, everyone was growing a bit impatient with not getting to fish, so we decided to go fishing in the shallow water. So I'm going to go ahead and share my third tip with you, and that is my 3 top items to bring on a trip to a beach house. That is an attachable high chair. We also brought a pack and play so that Lucas could sleep in his own bed. And finally, a baby monitor. These were all very useful when we were out of town.
Might have a keeper. Nice. You got it. Come on. Reel it in. Oh yeah, you got it. Nice.
Although we didn't catch any wahoo or any king mackerel or anything like that, we did catch a couple of Bermuda chub. After another day out in the sun, we were exhausted again, so we went home, had some dinner, and again we went to bed before 10 o'clock. So today is Thanksgiving Day, and it was supposed to be a lot more calm out in the water, so we decided to give fishing another try. But with waves this big, deep sea fishing is not an option today either.
I mean, these waves are as tall as a car.
As soon as we got out to where the waves were this big, we headed back to get some lunch. And here's Lucas taking a nap during all of the commotion. As we stroll by some of these beautiful beach houses, I wanted to share one more tip with you. Don't bring too many toys for your baby. Your baby is going to be distracted by everything else going on in a new place. They don't need a bunch of toys to play with. When we were at the condo during this trip, Lucas mainly played with his ambulance, the one toy that he usually plays with at home. I considered bringing a ton of other things, but I'm so glad I didn't. We got to see a manatee, and we actually got to see quite a few iguanas sunning themselves on the lawn. The highlight on Thanksgiving Day was definitely this little sandbar here. I got to see a stingray, which was a little creepy since your feet are in the sand, but Lucas absolutely loved getting in the water. It was a little chilly, but he did great with it. All in all, it was a great trip visiting the Keys with my family. The next morning, we headed back towards my grandmother's house. It took us about 7 hours, and once we got there, we had a Thanksgiving meal with her. Lucas got to spend some time with my grandma. We also played some cards together, which is always a good time. And we headed home the next morning. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And before you go, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. We've got a lot of fun ones coming up this month. And I hope you enjoy your holiday season and that you had a great Thanksgiving. We'll see you in the next one.